Good afternoon, everyone. In last lecture, we have completed from this chapter heritage management 2 points. That is, the first point we have completed was sources of history, their conservation and preservation. And after that, we have discussed about museums in India and abroad the India. Okay, means museums are from the different places. Now today we are going to study more about libraries and archive, which is very important in relation with the historical document. Okay, now library, we all know what is a library. We all have in our school libraries. Okay. Now what is a library? Library is a storehouse of knowledge and information. How it is a store of house of knowledge and information? Because it has a lots of books which gives us a lots of knowledge. Now this library science is related with the management science. How? If we are not able to manage the thing properly, so we cannot arrange the library in a proper way, and then it could not be accessible to the other to take the information from there. Okay, and now as we are living in a 21st century, and 21st century is depends on information technology, so library is also now taking the advantages of it. Okay, now so it makes the work easy to manage the thing. Now instead of writing the list of the books after some days every time, so now what is simple, how information technology make it simple? Once it is fit, so it can be changed, it can be copied. Okay, it can be saved properly. Yeah, once the list has been made, so it can be stored properly. Okay, now what are the tasks a library has to perform? Okay, when a library can be called, it is a good library when it has a collection of books in a proper arranged manner. Okay, then conservation and preservation, not only the storing of the book, but it's very important the book should be properly preserved and conserved. And the information, whatever the book a person want, it should be accessible to that person in a very short span of time. That time only the library will be called as a good library. Okay, now our ancient history, the people of past also used to have their libraries. Now some examples are given. For example, Ashurbanipal Library, Royal Library of Ashurbanipal. It was in the 7th century BC. Then the Assyrian emperor in Mesopotamia. What he, which library he start? The library of at Takshashila University. It was from 5th century BCE to 5th century CE. And then the next one, the library in Alexandria, Egypt, are supposed to be earliest library in the world. Is that clear? So here 3 libraries are given as an example. Then next, now it is talking about other than India. Now we will talk about some libraries in our India itself. For example, Saraswati Mahal Granthalaya. It is in Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu, during the 16th and 17th century. At that time, whose dynasty was there? Nayak dynasty. Okay. Now later on, what happened in 1675? Venkajirao Bhosle conquered the Tanjavur and established his independent rule. Okay, as he established his independent rule, so he kept on the expansion of the library, the Saraswati Mahal Granthalaya. And who contributed a lot? Sarfoji Raje Bhosle contributed a lot in the expansion. And in 1918, the library was renamed as the Tanjavur Maharaja Sarfoji Saraswati Mahal Library in his honor because of his contribution, as Sarfoji Raje contributed a lot for the expansion of library. That is why it is renamed on the name of the Sarfoji Raje. Okay, now there are some other noteworthy libraries also in India. For example, National Library, we already discussed. Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, it is in Delhi. Then State Central Library, it is in Allahabad. Library of Asiatic Society and Dravid Session Library, Mumbai. Okay, so these are some important libraries. Okay, now here the two terms is given, library and archives. Now what is archive? It is a place where historical documents are preserved. So we can say there is a keen relationship. It is a very close relationship between the library and the archives. They are closely related to each other. Now, what is the work of the archives? They preserve document with important content in their original conditions. Okay, they keep the document in the original conditions. Then after that, they have to prepare the index. Then they have to create accurate system of retrieval of document. Yeah, actually archives are the real sources. Okay, they are in their real form. And as we believe that it is talking about something which we get real, so it is very important. The department from the archive supposed to be very reliable in the sense trustworthy. Okay, because it is most of the time it is dependent on computerized system information technology, and that is why it is an inevitable part of the management of library and archive. Okay, because information and technology helps to uh, make a proper arrangement of the things, a list which should be properly arranged. It is very easily done by the information technology. So that is why information technology plays a very important role in relation with library and the archives. Now, the first official archive of India was Imperial Record Department. It was established in the year 1998. And it was opened, first it was established in the 1891 in Kolkata. The first archive of India, the Imperial Record Department, established in 1891 in Kolkata. Then it was shifted. Okay, after that it was shifted in Delhi 1911. Then in 1998, our Honorable President of India, K.R. Narayan, opened the archive for public. Okay, under which jurisdiction it comes? It comes under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Culture of Indian government. And all the documents which are, whatever the documents are preserved here, they are conserved here, they are in chronological order, and it is from 1748, from the year 1748, and it includes records in different languages: English, Arabic, Hindi, Persian, Sanskrit, and Urdu languages. Now it also include records of the Modi script. You can see the Modi script. Okay, in the fourth standard book, history, we can see it is related with the Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, in that we can see this type of something written in the book. It is called as Modi script. And thus, according to their nature, the documents, whatever the records are, they are divided into four types or four categories, we can say: public records, oriental studies, manuscript, and private. Now, what is a manuscript? It is an original written document. Okay. Now we all get books. We all have different books. We can take example of the book which you are studying, the different subjects book. They are books, but which is written by hand, first attempt. Okay, first time when it was written, it is called a script, manuscript, which is made by hand. Oh, yes, very good, Neeraj. Original document. Uh, uh, Different writers wrote first original document, then it got to printing machine and it get printed. So we get the printed copy. That is why they are called as books. But the original handwritten document is called as manuscript. Okay, so we can get a manuscript also in the archives. And as India is a vast country, it has different states, and different state has its different culture, history. So on the basis of that, all the states have their own archives. Okay, we can now we are living in Maharashtra, so we will discuss about the archives of Maharashtra state government. It has branches, different branches at different places: Mumbai, Pune, Kolhapur, and Aurangabad and Nagpur. These are the 5 branches of archives of Maharashtra state government. Okay, now how many documents are there? 5 crore Modi document related to Maratha history in the Pune branch. These documents are referred to be Peshwa Daftar. Okay, and now one of the sample copy has been given here. You can see the Modi script is given here. I hope this much is understood by everyone. Now, what is encyclopedia? Encyclopedia, it is a systematic compilation of information or knowledge of various topics. Okay, now you can, the example of one of the encyclopedia is given in the picture only. So it is what? It is a systematic compilation. It compiles different information and knowledge about different topics. And the information which is arranged in this, it has its specific method. Okay, and what is the main objective of the encyclopedia? Whatever the thing happened, whatever the things are made, they have some objective. So what is the objective of the encyclopedia? The first objective is the organizing available knowledge. Whatever the knowledge is there, that should be organized properly. And the second, whatever the knowledge has been organized, that should be accessible. Okay, so what are the two objectives of the encyclopedia? First, to organize the available knowledge, and the second, the knowledge should be accessible to the public or to the people. Is that clear? Which are the objectives? Okay, now what are the benefits of encyclopedia? As it has a lots of knowledge which a reader can get. Okay, lots of information. So it satisfies the curiosity of the people, those who are eager to know different things. It happens now when a person come to know about one thing, he became eager to know more about that particular thing. Is that clear? So it satisfy, encyclopedia satisfy the curiosity of those people, those who are very curious to know different things. And at the same time, it provides fundamental information of any topic. Fundamental means what? The basic information. Okay, if you don't know the alphabets, you cannot read the language, sentences. So, if we can say encyclopedia provides a basic information of different topics, which helps to understand the topics more easily. Is that clear? So what happened? It motivates the reader a lot to get the knowledge, to get closer to the information. Is that clear, beta? Okay. So as it provides that fundamental information, it satisfies the curiosity. So because of all these things, we are able to access the different information, different knowledge of the scholars and the researchers, those who have written, those who have researched. For example, we can get a lot of information of the evolution of life in encyclopedia. We can get information of topography in encyclopedia with a detailed information. It provides a detailed information of any topic which is researched by the different scholars and researchers. So what are the main criteria? The accuracy, meticulousness, objectivity, standardized format of presentation, and updated information are the criteria for designing a structure of an encyclopedia. Is that clear? These are the criteria for designing any encyclopedia. Now, accuracy is what? Accuracy, the thing should be properly arranged. Then, the next is the meticulousness. Now, what do you mean by meticulousness? Meticulousness in the sense, information should be in a proper detailing, in a precise manner. Okay, whatever, yes, whatever the thing is given, it has a detailed information. Each and every minute has been explained. It's called as meticulousness. Then objectivity is clear. I hope everyone. A standardized format of presentation. The presentation style is very standardized. It should attract you to towards the reader. It catch the attention of the reader, and it always had updated information. Is that clear? If uh, if an encyclopedia is not updated time by time, so it is not useful. Yes, every time it gets published a new edition. Okay, for now we are going to discuss some types of encyclopedia, then I will explain you different things. Okay, now how it arranged? It either arranged in alphabetical order or as per the order of topic. According to that, it is arranged. Now, how it is decided? The order is decided as per the convenience of the reader, how a reader can get convenient to read. If it is arranged in alphabetical order, so suppose you want to information about the evolution of life, so you will go to the alphabet E and you will find out it easily. So according to that, it is explained. Is that clear? Now uh, uh, we will also get index at the end of the encyclopedia, which is very, very convenience. Okay, now encyclopedia sometimes have a single editor, sometimes it has a lot of editors. Is that clear? And they have different articles. They have different articles related to different subject, which is given by the different subject experts. Okay. Now we will move to the types of encyclopedia. The first is dictionary. Now we all know dictionary. We have already seen the dictionary. So dictionary are arranged in dictionaries arrange the word in a language in a certain order, in alphabetical order. If you want, you get any new word in your textbook. So from where you get the meaning? You get the meaning from the dictionary. Okay. So you can get the meaning of the words, synonyms, and etymology also. Etymology, that from where it is originated. All this information we get from the dictionary. Now, we have different types of dictionaries. I think you already know that. Some dictionary has a comprehensive dictionaries. It gives understanding. Then some deals with the, yeah, Oxford, it is a kind of dictionary. Now, Oxford dictionary has a different kinds. It as per their information. Okay, it is a word dictionary, which is given here. Okay, now some dictionary will find with different terminology. Then etymological dictionary, thesaurus, then dictionaries of idioms and proverbs, as there are different types of things are there. So as per their the thing, different knowledge is also given. Now, if suppose you are living in a 21st century and you are using the dictionary of the 20th century, so is it worth to you? No, it cannot be. It means the dictionary should get updated. We discussed the encyclopedia should always be updated. It should have updated information. So if a dictionary is not updated day by day, year by year, so it cannot It cannot be useful because now we can see previously, before some decades, we cannot find any Hindi word in the Oxford dictionary. Now there are many Hindi words we can see in the dictionary, in the Oxford dictionary. So how it get updated day by day, and it includes different words. It publishes those words, so it gives knowledge to us related to different words. Now comprehensive encyclopedia. Second type is the comprehensive encyclopedia, that is Vishwakosh. Now there are two type of Vishwakosh. First is under the sun. It includes all the subject under the sun, that is Encyclopedia Britannica, Maharashtriya Dinankosh, Marathi Vishwakosh. It is one of the time, and the second is comprehensive information on one of the topic. For example, Bharatiya Samskriti Kosh. Here you will get all about the Bharatiya Samskriti. Vyayam Dhyan Kosh. Here you will get all the information related to Vyayam. Vyayam, I think you all know that exercise. Yes, very good. So these are the comprehensive encyclopedia. Now the next encyclopedic literature, that is Koshadrash. Now it is closely related with the encyclopedia which deals with the articles related to the scholars. We can take an example which is given in your textbook, that is Maharashtra Jeevan, volume 1 and 2. Then Manorama Yearbook, it is a very good example. I hope many of students have at their home also. Okay, Manorama Yearbook always gives information about the year. Whatever the thing happened in a year, it get compiled in the Manorama Yearbook and it is explained. It is published. Then different such encyclopedias are there. The next indexes. Now, where does the index be found? We can see the example. Mostly, the indexes are found in encyclopedia at the end. Okay. Mostly, it is found at the end of the encyclopedia. Now, what does this index include? It includes alphabetical list of individual subject, places, keyword, reference books, etc. Is that clear? If you have dictionary at your home, you can go through that. Or if you have some small encyclopedia, if you have Manorama yearbook, you can go through that. Just see where the index actually is given. So mostly it is given at the back only, at the end of the book only. So there we can get information about different keywords which we have not understood. We can take an example. Whenever you are surfing on a net, you take out some information from the net. As so some points are given, one numbers, number 2, number 3. So when we click, we get information. So it is a kind of index, online index. Is that clear? And when you go at the last, you get the references, you get some meaning. Huh. So indexes are given at the end. Is that clear to everyone? Yeah, it is also in some diaries. We can get this. Okay. Till now, any confusion, whatever we have discussed?